There are signs of a real estate collapse and a perfect storm in the real estate industry. Yes, debt of any kind, including mortgages, is now more expensive than ever. As inflation has reached record highs, the Federal Reserve and practically all banks worldwide have boosted what are known as central bank rates. Here in this chart you will see that interest rates are above 5%. And since central bank interest rates influence the interest rates that all other debt pays, this makes mortgages and any kind of real estate debt more expensive. Additionally, real estate values are at previously unheard of highs. In this graph you will see the price of an average home in the United States. An average home in the United States used to be worth $375,000. Today, that same house is worth $500,000. And as you will see, the price drop has already started in the last few months. Afterward, the global economy is slowing down. All nations, including China, the United States, and Europe, are observing that their economies are not expanding as quickly as they did in the past. These new economic conditions have caused a decrease in consumption, and we will experience the effects in the upcoming months. Therefore, there will be a decline in real estate prices as a result of these three factors: high interest rates, record home prices, and the slowing economy. But this market is peculiar. I just listed all the typical signs economists look for when predicting a real estate crisis. Additionally, if you've been keeping up with the real estate market, they haven't yet led to any collapses. However, I'm going to share with you some additional factors that make this crisis unique and show that the collapse is only just getting started. We must first comprehend the current status of the real estate industry. This chart tells you how many homes are for sale in the United States over the last 10 years. As you will see, we are seeing a record low number of homes for sale. 10 years ago there were nearly 3 million homes for sale, while today there are less than 1.4 million. This is the lowest number we've ever seen in the market. As you are aware, there must be an abundance of an asset available for sale in order for its value to plummet. That is how supply and demand work. The more supply there is relative to demand for an item or asset, the more the price decreases. On the other hand, if there is a large demand but a small supply, the price will soar. Additionally, as I mentioned at the start of this video, the demand for homes has decreased. Because mortgages are more expensive than ever, it has slowed. Here you will see how much you would pay in mortgage interest if you bought a house in the United States. As you will see, you would pay about 7% per year in mortgage interest. Just a year ago you were paying less than 3%. In addition, as I showed you, home prices have reached an all-time high of $500,000 per household on average across the United States. Therefore, it is clear that there is no demand for houses. But the fact that there aren't many houses on the market is what keeps prices at these high levels and what keeps the market from collapsing. Simply said, there aren't many people selling their homes and there aren't many people buying them, which keeps prices where they are. If you are enjoying this video and want to be aware of new videos, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. Why are there so few home sellers in this situation is a major concern. There are actually two causes. Both the housing shortage and investors are to thank for the first. Let's start by discussing investors, which is a really peculiar phenomena. You may already be aware of the fabled American dream, which exists in the United States. Every middle-class American will be able to own a home, which is one of the cornerstones of this ideal. Since World War II, the government has done everything within its power to realize this goal. It gave cheap mortgages, it stimulated the construction industry, and it gave other kinds of benefits. Anyway, the major banks held millions of homes following the massive real estate collapse in 2008. You may be aware that at the time, we witnessed a housing bubble that burst as homes were being built at historic rates. Millions of families were unable to pay their mortgages once the bubble broke, and the banks had to take them away from these families. The banks were forced to sell these properties as a result, and the government amended the law to encourage Wall Street speculators to buy them. In other words, the same investors who benefited from the crisis might now purchase these homes for less and earn money renting them out. So, as you will see in this chart, since the 2008 crisis, the number of Wall Street investors buying homes to rent has skyrocketed. Today, nearly 1 of every 5 homes in the entire United States is owned by investors. And as you might expect, these investors aren't going to put their houses up for sale in a market where there isn't any demand for them and when prices are sky high. To put it another way, selling them would need a discount, thus doing so would not be in their best interest. While they rent them out to families that need to live there, they can claim that the market price of those homes is what we see today, which is at record levels, provided they retain them in their portfolio. This occurrence is brand new. Before, neither banks nor investors had any real estate in the country. Previously, they could only invest in commercial, industrial, or infrastructural real estate. Homes were once thought to be exclusive to the middle class and prohibited from being used for business. Well, everything has changed today. And take note, this phenomenon is occurring not just in the United States but also in other countries. And in certain places, the situation is far worse. Cities in Mexico, Spain, and Brazil have real estate that is extremely valuable because investors rent it out. So that explains one of the reasons why the real estate market hasn't collapsed. The lack of housing, however, is yet another factor. Despite the United States' size and abundance of space, there is a severe housing shortage nationwide. The country as a whole lacks over 3.8 million homes, according to the most recent government statistics provided by Freddie Mac. Be careful, we're not discussing people here, we're discussing homes. This indicates that there are probably between 20 and 30 million individuals who need homes and wish to buy or rent them, but there are simply not enough of them available. And during the past few years, this issue has grown more serious. Here in this chart you will see the number of homes that have been built in the United States. In blue you will see the so-called single-family homes, which are homes for only one family. As you will see, since 2008 the number of new homes has plummeted and has not yet recovered. And the reason is that American municipal governments do not permit the construction of more homes. That's true, you may think it's insane, but American real estate is being purposefully influenced. The price of existing residences will be impacted, thus investors and homeowners in large cities oppose the construction of new ones. This prevents the price from collapsing because there aren't enough properties for sale and there aren't many available. These are the explanations, then, for why the market has not yet crashed, if we step back. The major issue now is, when will it finally crumble? The first factor, investors, has the solution. That's true, since 1 in 5 homes on Wall Street are owned by investors, they are the ones who control the real estate market. Investors will therefore need to sell for there to be a collapse. Of course, investors won't sell if they don't have to. Particularly if they rent out these residences and the rent is at all-time highs. But another area of real estate, the commercial sector, is also experiencing a very significant crisis. Offices, retail establishments, and shopping centers all typically belong to investors. This entire industry has experienced a severe problem since the outbreak. Additionally, Elon Musk stated that commercial real estate is collapsing quickly on Twitter a few weeks ago. They are disintegrating because many businesses no longer require big offices. The great majority of businesses have adopted the concept of telecommuting since the outbreak. Additionally, being present in a workplace is no longer necessary thanks to laptops and cloud services. As a result, the cost of office space has fallen practically everywhere in recent years, prompting investors to sell their holdings and leave the real estate industry altogether. There are already indications of this. Here in this chart, for example, you will see the number of investors who are buying residential homes has fallen by more than half. So, there you have the answer. Because they don't want to sell their assets, investors are avoiding a price decline in the residential real estate market. However, investors will also be compelled to sell their homes as a result of the severe crisis in the commercial real estate industry. As a result, there will be more houses available for purchase in the US, which will lower costs. This might lead to a fall in real estate values in the United States and elsewhere due to high interest rates set by the Federal Reserve and a faltering economy. So, we would like to know what you think about this situation. Do you think it will be a good time to buy? Will we see a real estate crisis like the 2008 crisis? Leave us your opinion in the comments.